Grand Theft Auto. What can be said about it? It's one of the most successful video game franchises ever, and for obvious reasons. Free-roaming gameplay, great voice acting, incredible stories, amazing graphics for their time. It is just simply every gamer's dream. For over a decade, they've captured our hearts, and it seems like they will until the end of time. Grand Theft Auto 5 will probably be here next year, and with this entire world that Rockstar has created, it should be no wonder that numerous myths sprang up once these games hit absolute popularity. And with this Halloween season, I would like to give you all my analysis on one of the most famous myths in any Grand Theft Auto game ever, the myth of Bigfoot in San Andreas. Now you may be wondering, what myth? Who on earth made the connection between Bigfoot and a game such as Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Well, for the time, a lot of games were known for their Easter eggs, and in this case, you don't have to look any further than the first house you go into. In the Johnson house, you are free to look at anything, from cereal boxes to bed sheets to video game systems, but one picture was enough to start one of the greatest video game myths ever. It showed a shadowy forest at night with a small little brown figure. Instantly, people just thought, could this be Bigfoot? Soon after the myth gained enough popularity, screenshots appeared online from users claiming to have encountered the mythical Sasquatch in the Flint Country regions of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And the fun didn't even end there. Video footage like this was broadcasted online claiming that people found Bigfoot in a hidden mission. Whether or not this was actually possible, people had to find out. After all, back in the early 2000s and even to this day, this footage sure does look convincing. So, I decided to go into the haunted woods of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and see if I could find me a Sasquatch. As usual for video game legends, there are numerous theories as to how you can encounter Bigfoot. However, the most popular and arguably most logical method is to go to either Baco Beyond or Mount Chiliad during the night, as said by numerous websites such as Game Trailers on their famous internet show Pop Fiction, though many people and websites claim that you can find Bigfoot any time of the day in the general area of Flint County if you are just lucky enough. Luck? I'm gonna need it. Just before I really get started on this myth, I just want to say I've been playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for a long time. I believe it was ever since 2008, and I have played this game to death. I've done all the missions, I've experienced excruciating difficulty, and I have been to all these areas so many times that I can practically write down the map right now. And I have been in Flint County numerous times and traveled to all the locations, and I even just did random stuff out of pure boredom, and I can safely say I did not discover one mythical creature. Not one. But still, even after all those hours and days of playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and not encountering one Sasquatch, I just figured maybe I just need to do a real experiment to prove whether or not he's really real. However, on my real expedition, I encountered no such luck. As seen by this footage, I went from Mount Chiliad to Baco Beyond. I used a cheat in order to set the clock permanently to midnight, and scouring through the landscape, I found nothing. The most I found was a pickup truck and a quad bike, but despite all of my efforts, I could not find Bigfoot. Which leads me to the question, what about the video footage? What about the photos? Have I been lied to all this time? Well, sorry to say to a lot of people that believe that Bigfoot can be legitimately found in San Andreas, but after reviewing a lot of this evidence, it appears that it backfires. The photos can be easily dismissed since a lot of people believe that they are forgeries, and because this was during a time when graphics weren't exactly at their best, many people could simply fake Bigfoot photos. And sadly, even the video footage, which appears to confirm this myth 100%, is fake. As a lot of people know, it is simply a mod created by an Italian fan after the Bigfoot craze hit. Still don't believe me? Well, listen to this. In an interview with Electronic Gaming Monthly, former CEO of Rockstar, Terry Donovan, said, and I quote, There is no Bigfoot, just like in real life. Now, you think that would end the myth completely, but a lot of websites and a lot of believers of the Bigfoot myth counter Donovan's claim with what else? Another quote. In this case, co-founder and president of Rockstar Games and the executive producer behind the Grand Theft Auto series, Sam Houser, said, and again, I quote, "I did in fact put Bigfoot in the game, which was meant as a joke, but my boss told me to remove it. Instead, I didn't tell my boss and kept Bigfoot in the game just in case testers decided to roam the woods. Players will have a 1 in 10 chance of finding Bigfoot." Thus, to this day, people still search for Bigfoot's presence in the game without the use of mods or cheats, and I don't believe anybody will ever truly realize whether or not he was put into the game, or if it's just simply some little Easter egg that's not supposed to go anywhere. Personally, I believe in the Donovan quote that Bigfoot doesn't really exist in the game, and also, nobody really knows for sure if Sam Houser made the quote many people use. And also, his quote seems to be a bit vague. 1 out of 10? What exactly does that mean? Does that mean 1 out of 10 when you just decide to go to that area or those areas? Or 1 out of 10 when you create a new save file, there's the likelihood that Bigfoot will be in that save file? Do you have to create other save files in order to have another chance of getting Bigfoot in that save file? But, my brain's in a twist. However, I did come across one video with only 14,000 views that claims that Bigfoot is only in version 1.0 of the game and you can find him without using any cheats or mods. Now that does appear to be a likely story, and with cases such as The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I can understand different changes or alterations made to games in their different versions. So, it all comes down to this. I am not the one true person that ultimately knows whether or not Bigfoot is in the game without any alterations, and I can't speak on behalf of all Grand Theft Auto fans or Rockstar producers, but I just want to say this. If you believe Bigfoot is in the game, that's great. If you're still searching for him, I admire your loyalty and commitment to the game. However, I do not believe in Bigfoot, and I do not believe he is in the game unless you use mods or cheats in the PC version. However, can anybody prove me and a lot of other people wrong? Well, start looking for this Sasquatch if you want to. Now, on to our other myth. Though not as popular as Bigfoot here in the United States, I am sure a lot of you have heard the legend of Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, the famous mythical creature that is believed to lurk in the Scottish lake. Is she real or is she not? Well, I'll let you find out because I'm not the one to go chasing after these myths. And the water is especially cold there, but that's not the point. Right now, on to the myth in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Of course, if there's such a huge craze behind Bigfoot being in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, it should come as no surprise that there are myths of other monsters being in the game, and one of these, as you would expect, is the Loch Ness Monster. Now, as we all know, the ocean that surrounds Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is endless. You could travel across this ocean for months and months and months without ever putting down the controller, and you won't come across one little slither of land. So many fans would think that if somebody is trying to find the Loch Ness Monster in this endless ocean, that it would just simply take an eternity, and there's no way anybody would be able to come across it at the right place at the right time. However, a lot of websites claim that the Loch Ness Monster is not found in the big ocean and is instead found in Fisher's Lagoon. And when traveling to the lagoon, you can understand why a lot of people would think that. On the docks, there is an empty wheelchair, and on the beach, there is a little house, which tells the story of how possibly a hermit used to live near this lake before he or she mysteriously vanished. However, because just their wheelchair is left behind, it makes a lot of people think, did something just come out of that lagoon and get them? Well, I decided to dive in and find out. Now, as a lot of people know, you can encounter underwater creatures in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but usually these creatures aren't any bigger than, say, a dolphin or a sea turtle because, well, they are a dolphin and a sea turtle. So it makes me wonder, can I encounter some kind of weird mythological creature just swimming in this lagoon? Well, again, proven by this video footage, I swam across Fisher's Lagoon, I dove under the depths, but I found no such thing. I may have found a sea turtle, a dolphin, and a group of jellyfish, But I didn't find any Loch Ness Monster. Besides, it's hard to know what the Loch Ness Monster looks like because you don't really know what Rockstar envisions it to be. And even people online have speculated what the Loch Ness Monster looks like in the game. Some say it's the traditional plesiosaur, others say it's something more similar to the monster in the water horse. But however, a lot of people also think that it's most similar to the creature seen in this picture, which looks a lot like the lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man. However, I saw none of these creatures, and I even splashed around in the water to see if anything would get me and send me to a watery grave, but nothing at all happened while I was in this lagoon. However, one user claims that you can encounter the Loch Ness Monster if you die at the lagoon at midnight. Well, using a suicide sheet and using the permanently midnight sheet, I sent CJ's soul to the grave at exactly 12 o'clock. And despite this theory, all I got was a trip to the Montgomery Hospital without any Loch Ness Monster. And just like the Bigfoot myth, there were enough videos and photos to fill a book, but as usual, mods were the culprit. The myth of the Loch Ness Monster is just as fake as the Bigfoot myth. At least from my experience. Now, for our third and final myth, what else would you expect but aliens? Now, living in a world where there are literally thousands of alien conspiracy theories, it should come as no surprise that, of course, there would be some Easter eggs in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, of course, mods exist for UFOs and alien skins, but one thing that makes me wonder whether or not there are actually aliens in this game is the location of Area 69, which is obviously a parody of Area 51, a secret government facility that supposedly houses secret aliens. Now, for those of you who have played most of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you would know that the only thing you find in Area 69 is a jetpack, but then again, should I just let this myth slide by? I mean, after all, there is a little bar called the Little Probe Inn, which is an obvious reference to the many tourist sites found in Roswell, New Mexico, where, supposedly, the US government covered up a spacecraft that crashed into a field. The wall of the bar contains so many alien pictures that it would make any paranormal investigator scream with glee, so I decided to search the night skies for anything suspicious. And what did you know? I did find something. Take a good look at this star. Now tell me, what star can be seen at this magnitude on Earth? What star can shine that big at night? I mean, it's almost as bright as the sun. And what's with its yellowish green color? Do we ever see any star like this on Earth in our night sky? Could this be something else? Could it be a weird type of military or NASA device? Or, well, either way, with my incredibly expensive Hydra, I took to the skies and I decided to investigate this star. However, to my dismay, I soon realized that, like all the other Grand Theft Auto stars, I cannot possibly reach it. I spent minutes chasing after this star and it didn't get any closer to my plane. I tried swooping down in order to gain a higher altitude, but all that happened to my Hydra was that it fell down to the earth, requiring some quick reflexes for me to save myself. So what is this odd light? Is it a star? Is it a message from invaders from outer space? Is it some type of device from the planet Earth? Who knows? Because nobody ever will. In conclusion, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is a place of many, many, many fine myths. Many have disproved them, many have confirmed them, but either way, it's all up to you. Do you think any of these myths are true? Are you willing to go on journeys to try and discover them and confirm them or disprove them? Well, if you do so, please send me your video because I would really like to know it. Now, if you don't mind, I've got to take a trip on my expensive Hydra.